What's up, family? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Thank you so much, Privy C. I hope I'm saying it right. Thank you, family. Thank you so much, everybody, for your condolences. It's an interest. It's a rough time right now, but I just want to kind of tell everybody thank you so much for the condolences. I'm not real quick on sharing those type of things because I need private time, but because I just needed to say something. One, because I knew I was going to be kind of out of commission for a little bit. I want to kind of let the family know then, still needed the prayers. This is a little different for us. If people have ever heard me talk about my family, one thing I do always mention is my father. And my father was the backbone to our family. He was truly the patriarch to our family. His loss was all of a sudden. We were actually here hanging out because I was off for like 2 weeks and just visiting my family, and my dad had been complaining that he had a cold and because he had a hard time breathing. My dad dealt with congestive heart failure, and he's been dealing with that for almost what I want to say pre-COVID. So before COVID, he had it. So I want to say I'm 47. So when my dad found out he had congestive heart failure, he had it. I think I was like 37 when he found out. So he's been dealing with that for like almost 10 years. And it just all of a sudden caught up with him out of nowhere. Um, he had been complaining, like I said, he thought he had a cold because he had shortness of breath. And the shortness of breath just got worse and worse. And then he kept telling me, well, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to go to the doctor. And I had threatened to send him to the emergency room. I said, we going to the emergency room. And he was like, oh, no, 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 I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to my doctor tomorrow. So he went to his doctor, and his doctor, made some changes to his medicine and sent him home. And we thought he was fine. And it was like a Wednesday when he sent him home and he said he was fine. That Thursday, I was actually going to get on the road that Friday morning and head back to New York. And my daughter came to me and she just said out of the blue that Thursday night, she was like, Something's telling me we don't need to leave. And I said, I feel the same way. I said, because, dad is still not feeling good. And I want to kind of sit here and make sure, I'm sorry, my phone lets me know when it's time to go to sleep. But I still want to make sure he's good. Then I was kind of helping him around the house. Like he even had a hard time doing things like taking the garbage out. So I told him, I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna stay one more day. I said, and just kind of help you out. And for tomorrow, I said, I don't want you to have to take the garbage out or any of that. And he was like, oh, okay, baby. He just loved the fact that me and my daughter were staying. And Friday, that's when he fell ill. He actually he was in the house and he fell, and I heard him fall. And the crazy thing is, my mom, we joke about the fact that my mom has a hearing problem, which she does. If we wouldn't have been here, no, he wouldn't have had anybody there to help him. And I happened to be up and studying. I'm trying to get ready for my ITIL certification. So I had gotten up early because we wasn't planning to leave until that Saturday. And got up early and went and got some coffee and was going to kind of drive around the city for a minute. And then somebody just said, go home. And I went home and started studying. And then I heard boom. And I thought it was Madison. I said, did Madison fall? And then I went in and found him, and he had fell out, but he was still, aware of his surroundings. He was just dizzy. And that Friday, it went from dizzy spells to not being able to recognize who we were. That right there, that Friday he was good. That Saturday he couldn't recognize us, and that was like, wow, hold on. And I knew something was wrong. And then that Saturday night, they told us his organs were failing, and we're gonna get we were going to try and do dialysis because we thought it was just his kidneys. And by Sunday night, going into Monday morning, that's when he passed away. So, and it was all of a sudden. And I think that's what's taking us for a loop right now. But I do remember one thing. My mom, in the midst of it, she was crying, but she was thanking God. Um, and but overall, God, I'm grateful, y'all. I had a wonderful father. My father was supportive, right, wrong, or indifferent. He was supportive. He knew how to, when I was wrong, he knew how to come at me and tell me I was wrong. I get mad and I walk off, but then I later on think about it and say, maybe he is right. He knew how to applaud me when I had done my best, even if it didn't come out well. He knew how. So he knew how to be comforting. He knew how to. My dad, greatest cook. Anybody knows him. And the crazy thing is, he never met a stranger. My friends took it hard because we all grew up together, and we grew up here at this house. My dad would cook for all of us. So my friends been coming in and out of this house. Friends that I have not seen in years, just coming to check. Just come by the house. My mom, she's strong in the Lord. I'll say that much. She's strong in the Most High, and I'm seeing the strength come present in her. Him and her were married for 47 years. Not 7 years, not 10 years, 47 years. And they dated 2 years. So they've been together for 49 years. And it's different. Like I just it's something. But I praise God. I praise God for him being in my life. I praise God for him being a father. I praise God for him for being a great grandfather. Um, I praise God for him being just a overall good man to my mom. He always was the type of man that he worked. When I say worked, he worked. He worked. He gonna make sure that everybody got what they needed. You know, not only was he working, he was cooking. Um, the new joke about the joke about how Generation X, their parents will lock them outside and they be outside playing all day. That's how it was. He worked at night, so he would and my mom worked during the day. So during the summer, my mom would go to work. My dad, before he would go to bed, he'd make us big every day that summer. Even the neighborhood kids would come to the house. My dad would make a huge breakfast for everybody in the neighborhood. I used to get mad. I'd be like, it's a house full of children, but we were all kids. Just back in the 80s, early 90s. I was like from the about 10 or 11, but it was majority of my childhood. He would make a huge breakfast, not just for his kids, but the neighborhood. And they would come to the house, and my dad would make pancakes. We ate pork, bacon, and sausage with grits or rice. And he would say, I'm giving y'all, he used to tell us that, he told me this when I was older. He said, I fed y'all like that so y'all can get a heavy meal at the beginning and y'all wouldn't be coming back and forth in the house talking about y'all hungry because I was trying to sleep. Because he was trying to sleep before he had to go back to work at night when I was younger. And he would do that, pack us with food. And the neighborhood kids would eat. Some kids, their parents was like, wow, they would call the house and say, is my child down there? My dad would be like, yeah, they down here. He would be cooking breakfast for the whole neighborhood. Whole neighborhood. And they knew to come to our house during the summer because they knew they was going to get a breakfast. And it used to be hilarious. And my friends would call me or come down to the house and say, girl, get up. Your daddy could waking me up talking about my daddy cook breakfast. I'd be like, why are y'all in my house? But the neighborhood trusted my father because they knew my father was an upstanding man. They never had to be concerned about anything because my dad was a protector. And he was not only a protector of his own, He was a protector for the neighborhood kids. Everybody knew Mr. Thomas, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Thomas. And he also worked for the school system. So he was a joy for everybody. He always met you with a smile. If you ever met my father, he always met you with a smile every single time. Loved to laugh, would laugh until you could see that his life was just good. He enjoyed his family. One thing I did learn from him, and I hope I'm not rambling. I just got on here and I said, let me check up on everybody. Um, One thing he taught me is how to live and love life. Live life, even in your bad times. Because we had some bad times here, when money was short. My dad was around during Reaganomics, when you remember men back in the day would have these jobs working at factories. Let me get my charger. Hold on. Uh, Hold on. Here it come, y'all. My laptop got to die. Um, what was I saying last, y'all? I forgot. Y'all know my memory is shot. What did I say last? Because I've been talking about him all day. I can't remember what I last said. Yeah, he was just phenomenal. Oh yeah, he came up during Reaganomics. You remember doing Reaganomics? Right before that, men could get jobs working at factories, making money to be able to support their families, buy brand new cars, because they had credit unions that would they would be able to get cars through the credit union. My dad would get. What's so funny is that when I was a kid, when my dad worked at a major factory here in Memphis, he would get. I promise you, we would get new Cadillacs every year, just about. He would trade it in every year, a new Cadillac. And I remember every time my mom would come up to his job and take him his lunch or check up on her. I remember this as a little kid. He would get me out the car and take me into the factory. All the factory workers knew me, and the women in the office. I think some of them was flirting with him, but women in the office, they would see me, and I was his baby. He would carry me around, and he'll make sure I ate. Gave me some candy. Go to the candy machine. I go to the candy machine, get candy out. And my mom would sometimes show up and be like, I'm having a problem with my car. And my dad would go, that was back in the day. Y'all remember back in the day, in them factories, sometimes the credit unions would be on site sometimes, or would be close to the facility. My dad would tell her, go to the credit union, go to the Cadillac dealership. That's what men used to do. Men didn't have a problem about doing that. Go to the Cadillac dealership. I've already called them. Credit union, we already called them. So go ahead and go and trade the car in without a second thought. We would show up to the Cadillac dealership, and my mom would trade the car in. I remember one day my mom dropped me off from school in a brown Cadillac. She came back in a red. I said, what in the world? But that's what he did. Didn't have a second thought at all. My dad would walk me to school in the morning sometimes, because I used to have to ride the bus. He would walk me to the bus in the morning. Um, One story, y'all, and I ain't gonna be out here too long. One story, funny story. So my dad said he got off early from work. So my bus was dropping me off at the school, at my bus stop from school, because that's when they started busing kids back and forth. Um, so my dad walked, because we live walking distance from my bus stop. So he went to the bus stop. He said, he said he was looking at the bus. He said, when I tell you it was so much commotion going on, he said, I'm looking like that. I can't say the word. He said, dang. Whoever child that is, they got to be bad as, how what bad as was it Hell? He's like, that child tearing up the bus. Somebody said he was standing there waiting for, and the kids was coming off the bus one by one. He said he kept looking. He said every child was coming out the bus. Whoever child was in the back fighting, because somebody was fighting on the bus. He said, okay, so every child coming out of this bus, where is my child? Looked in the back of the bus. It was me fighting. My dad said he had to go on the bus, snatch me. He said you was fighting with half the people in the project, them kids in the projects. And he said, I was proud of you. He said, but dang, you was tearing that bus up. And I promise y'all, when he tell me that story, I laughed so hard. He said, you had turned that bus inside out. He said, he got on the bus. He said, that's my child. So, and he got me. I remember that day. And I remember walking from home. And he was like, did you win? I remember he asking me that. And I was like, like, don't let nobody take nothing from you. Don't you let nobody take nothing from you. Yeah, it was me. It was me fighting on the bus. He thought it was somebody else's child cutting up, and it was his cutting up sideways. And my dad always said that. He said, one thing about Nikki, she ain't finna let nobody take nothing from her. And my dad told me that was the last conversation we had when he visited me in New York. I mean, we've had other conversations, but that was one of the more meaningful conversations I remember that we had when he last visited me in New York. He said, one thing about you, he said, you're going to fight. He said, you're a fighter. He said, and I understand you. He said, most people think that you just flighty or, you hot-head, you have a temper. He said, no, you just a fighter. And that kind of stayed with me because people in my family always say, oh, she got a hot head. Oh, she got a hot head. Dad said, you ain't going to take it. I can't say the word hit off of nobody. He said, and that's what I love. Don't take nothing off no nigga. That's his favorite word. I hope they don't block and get in trouble for saying that. But that's what he used to say. Don't take nothing off nobody. So the fighter y'all see when we be in these conversations, and because of him. Because of him. He always taught me to fight. And my mom taught me to fight as well. Both of them. So I always had those good conversations. And it would be random. I could be sitting me and him love sci-fi movies. Me and him will watch sci-fi movie all day. And that's when we have just random conversations. Just, how's everything going? That's how his conversation. Everything going good? All right. You like it, New York? I'd be like, yes. All right. I'm proud of you. And then he'll go in the other room. That's how random he will be. But this last trip, y'all, to New York, it was something different. I don't know what it was. It was something different. Like, how can I say it? Cherish this moment. And something heavy came over me. Because I said, well, Daddy, I said, so when you come back, he said, yeah, baby. If I make it another year, yeah, I'll come on back. That right, he used to always joke about that, but that was the first time I was like, oh. And I felt a sinking in my stomach when he said that to me. But I let it go. I didn't say it. I was like, that's just me being extra. But yeah, that was something. And it's just something my dad always said. He said, if I leave here, I don't want to suffer. He didn't want to suffer. He never wanted to, he didn't want, suffer with illness. He said, if I go, I just want to go. I don't want to suffer. And God gave him exactly what he asked for. When he left, he left. It wasn't no illness. He wasn't going through, any form of chemotherapy. He didn't have to do none of that. It was just, he got sick. He went in the hospital 3 days later with no suffering. And and I praise God that he did not suffer. Um, it was just different. So it's a process. I have good days. I have some days where I promise you, I've had days where I've just wandered around the house, and it's just like something is missing. Because I'm here, at my mom's, and I'm gonna try to stay here as long as I can, um, just for her support. Because he always told us to take care of your mama. Make sure you take care of her, because he took pride in taking care of her. But I've seen myself just walk around the house aimlessly, just wandering around from room to room. Sometimes I feel like a lost little kid looking for my daddy. That's how it feels, and that's just like, wow, And I just some days I have days where I'm just at peace because he didn't suffer, and I know where he is, and I know who he's with. He's a man of faith. He ain't one of those men though that every day I'm gonna be at church shouting, falling out. No, my dad just he was just a normal guy that believed in the Father and believed in the Son, and he let his light shine through his love of God's people. If you ever met me at the time, if you anybody that ever knew me and ever came to my parents' house, you never left my parents' house with an empty stomach. They're gonna feed you. They're gonna cook something. They're gonna have something he already cooked. He ain't gonna ever let you leave the house with an empty stomach. Um, so he loved people, loved people. Um, and it's just he. One thing I know that he loved my mother. They argue. Whoo wee. They can argue down. They would argue when they got older here recently. I don't know who was the grumpiest, him or her, but both of them would be tired of each other. But one thing he did, he loved her. He would come and visit me and be gone for 2 weeks, and he'll say, "Oh, I need to go home." I'm like, "Why are you rushing home?" "I can't leave your mama too long by herself." I'd be like, and he meant he'd be on a mission. I enjoy myself here, but I gotta get home to your mama. She don't like being alone. She don't like being by herself. We got to go. And I would be like, wow. And he meant it. He got home, they'd check up on her, make sure she took her medicine, fuss at her. When she didn't do right with her doctors, I remember my mom had to go to the hospital, and I saw in his face the sheer thought of losing her. I've never seen him like that before. Never seen him like that before. But I think but just to jump the subject, I think one of the most proudest moments he ever had was the day he held my daughter. Oh, that was his heart. I've never had I've had my grandfather loved his grandkids, but I've never my grandfather didn't was him and my daughter were close. Like he loved that little girl. When she was a baby, I would say, "Daddy, can you drop my baby off?" I wouldn't even have to ask, and I'd drop her off, and make sure she got her milk, make sure she got her pampers, make sure she got everything, and he would watch her, take care of her. You know, oh gosh, she loved him. I mean, when she was a little kid, if she hurt herself and me and him are in the room, she finna go to him. She ain't finna come to me. She finna go straight to him. Oh, she gonna go straight to him. And that's the only person that can console her. She was a baby. If I got on her case, the only person that could console her was him. Even as a teenager, I would get on her case, leave her alone, leave her alone. And I'd just be like, you all up in my business when it comes to her. And I would give up. I'd just be like, oh, okay. You don't know how to talk to her. You don't understand her. And she told me, she said, that's my best friend. She said, that's my best friend. And I just, so y'all keep my daughter in your prayers. Keep my mom, keep all of us in your prayers. Because he had a special connection with all of his kids and his grandkids. But that little girl, her nickname was Sugar. That's my sugar. That'd be the first thing he say when he see her. He would smile. I have you ever seen? I saw this TikTok or it was Instagram, and it was like the grandfather had opened the door, and the son showed up, and it was just the son, and he just like, come on in. But he brought his grandson, and he picked the grandbaby up and was just happy to see him. That's how my daddy is. If I would have popped up, where's Madison? And I'd be like, she's not with me all. But then if I had her all, there's my sugar. So, but I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm rambling, but I just want to let y'all know that how amazing of a man my father was. I dare not get on this live and not let everybody know he was an amazing man. He was an amazing husband, father, and grandfather. He'll be missed, but I had to come to the realization that y'all loves him more, and he's resting with the Father right now. He said, peace. And I said, I'll see you on the other side. I see you in the kingdom of Christ. When he comes, I'll see you there. I'll see you there. So, but y'all, I'm good. I just want to let y'all know that I'm good. I know I've got messages from people, asking me how am I doing. I'm as well as to be expected. Um, every day is just a day that I have to just get close to y'all. Y'all helps me through it um every day. So, but that's all I wanted. Actually, they got to come and tow my car because for some reason this ice and snow has caused the sensors under my car to go off. So every single time I would turn the alarm on in my car, the alarm would pop on. We have we have snow here in Memphis, and my car sits very low. And because it sits low, guess what? Some of the ice or something got into one of the sensors. Actually, it stopped making a noise, and now it's like, should I cancel the tow? But my mama, she's like, look, we can't risk it right now. Let them come tow your car. I was like, I don't want nobody to come tow my car. But she's like, yeah, your dad's car. I was like, really? I just don't have a heart to get in this car right now. So, but I'm gonna probably have to get off in a minute because my car has to go back to the dealership to figure out why the sensor is going off. It's constantly the alarm, just every time I cut it off, the alarm will go off. Cut it off, the alarm will go off. So I know my neighbors are cussing me out right now. So, but that's neither here nor there. But family, I just want to get out here and let y'all know um, I'm as well as to be expected. I can't say I'm good. I'm hurting. Um, I'm missing him greatly. I miss my father so much. Um, but by the strength of Yah, I'm able to just keep going. It's just it's just a process. So just pray for us in this process. Keep us lifted. Keep my family in prayer. Um, and I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be gone for a minute. Uh, because I may come back because I need to, still continue on because I can hear my dad say now, keep living, don't stop, keep doing what you were doing. But I may take like a couple of weeks off. So, but I'll be back. I'll be back. I may end up hopping on live next week. Because I know I need it, and this is amazing therapy for me. Uh, while I go through what we're going through right now. So, but like I said, yeah, that's what I've been doing, staying busy, constantly moving. Um, But keep us lifted, y'all. Keep us lifted. I'm still doing stuff like if I'm on Clubhouse, I still go to Clubhouse sometimes because I have to go for a laugh and see the foolishness because it keeps me laughing. Then I come out here. I just come out here for y'all just to feel y'all's presence, you know. So, but keep me lifted. I know it's a lot going on, and when I say a lot is going on, a lot is going on that I want to talk about. I just don't have the energy right now. I want to talk about the Book of Clarence. I want to talk about the tunnels under Brooklyn. And what's so funny is I live in that area, so that's what's funny. That the synagogues with the tunnels. I want to talk about that. Um, but if I don't talk about it now, I understand I'm still gonna talk about it later. Um, South Africa. Have y'all heard about South Africa? Is now uh, pressing charges or has suing, or I think pressing charges on Israel, and Israel has to go before the international court system, and they're trying Israel for war crimes, I think. But it took South Africa to bring them before the international court. Um, so I think it's called is it ICJ? I think that's how they pronounce it. Um, so that's interesting. So stay tuned and keep watching it. So why's my daughter in there? She watching something on the live. So but that's it. I'll be talking about some of this stuff probably next week. Um, I actually am going to go see Book of Clarence. I want to see. Y'all know me. I got to see it before I make a decision on how I feel about it. The trailer is very deceiving, but what I've heard from other people that the trailer is not what we think. The movie is more so based off of individuals like Simon the Sorcerer, or even going as far as how ministers abuse and lie so they can get money. And say they got all these gifts and these powers and these anti messiahs that walk around here. So there's someone I saw a review, and my daughter actually saw the review and told me about it, and she was like, he said it's something like Simon the Sorcerer. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go see it. So I'm probably gonna go this week because I just gotta I have to stay busy. I have to stay busy. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out, and I may do a quick review on it, and give y'all my honest opinion. Cause she going to see it anyway. So I said, you know what? I think the biggest problem with that movie too is because I told somebody, I said, because a lot of people saying that it's blasphemous. Um, some people, and a lot of people that are saying this, that it was blasphemous, was calling it blasphemous before the movie came out. And I think people saw the trailer and assumed that it was talking about something else. The trailer is very deceiving, but the writer, or I think he's the producer or director of the movie, actually talked about it on a show. And my daughter sent me the link on TikTok. And he was saying, if you think it's blasphemous, go look at it because it's not really what you think. He said it's more of something dealing with Simon, like similar to Simon the Sorcerer. I think, yeah. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. But what kills me is this. In some cases, I think that as Black people, we have to be very careful because we don't want to fall into the trap of calling something blasphemous. And when you look behind the veil, everybody in the movie is Black in some type of biblical type of in a biblical movie, including the man who is depicting the Messiah. He's Black. Um, so I'm sitting there saying, why all of a sudden this is blasphemous when we've seen a ton of biblical movies that have not been called out as being blasphemous. If y'all remember the movie called History of the World, Part One or either Part Two. Mel Brooks did that movie. Now that movie was blasphemous. Um, the movie with what's the guy's name? The older guy. He played God, older white guy with glasses. Oh gosh. I mean, it's a bunch of movies out there that I would just say is straight up blasphemous. So I'm gonna go see it. I'm going to go see it. And I give y'all my honest review on it. I don't think it'll hurt to go see the movie. I've seen a bunch of other movies, especially crazy movies. I can easily go and sit down and watch this movie and give y'all my true viewpoint of it. I'm not gonna give a viewpoint on. That's why I haven't really talked about it because I haven't seen it, and I don't want to make a rash decision just because of a trailer and just be like, oh, this movie is blasphemous. Oh, this movie is, and I haven't even seen it. Um, I'm just not gonna do that. Y'all know how I am, so I'm gonna check it out. And I mean, and yeah, I think that's it too because Jay-Z has something to do with it. How y'all know Leave the World Behind wasn't created by a pack of atheists? What movie is not created by atheists this day and time? Ask yourself that question. Hollywood is full of weirdos. So every movie you cut on, everybody loved Leave the World Behind. Have we looked into who created Leave the World Behind? Who was it? Obama. But we watched it. Yes, the George Burns movie. Yep, George Burns movie, the God movie. I forgot the name of it. But Leave the World Behind was created by Obama. But we went to see that movie and talked about it for weeks upon weeks upon weeks upon weeks. And we all gave our own viewpoints and our own reviews. But Obama did the movie. Now all of a sudden Jay-Z and Beyonce did a movie. Everybody like, oh, this is blasphemous. Well, don't go watch Leave the World Behind. How many of us have watched Leave the World Behind? Raise your hand. I think we love disaster movies. We're gonna watch them, but some people just I don't know. But I am definitely Dear God by George Burns. Yes, yes, y'all remember that movie? That movie now that was blasphemous. That made it seem like God was an ordinary man. It took him out of his God status. It made him an ordinary man that drank and smoked cigars. I think yeah. So but everybody watched that movie. But I mean, if you watch Leave the World Behind and gave it a chance, I would give this a chance. I want to see what it's about. Again, I think the trailer, because at first when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch that because it looks weird. And my daughter was like, look at the what the director said. And I saw the director talk about the movie. And when he talked about the movie, I said, so Clarence is not playing the Messiah. Clarence is playing an individual who was trying to copy or mock the Messiah. So he wanted the Messiah's powers for financial gain. So it sounds like majority of the pastors that we know, like the TD Jakes. So I'm actually gonna go and see it for myself, um, and give y'all my honest review. Y'all know me. If it ain't right, I'm gonna say y'all don't go see it. But if it's just a good movie with a good plot dealing with an individual, because what I heard is just about an ordinary man and he's on a journey, and in his journey, he's trying to find his purpose, and he stumbles up on Christ and see all the powers that Christ has and says, "I want those powers," and try to mimic them, and that's why, i.e., they call it the Book of Clarence. So I want to see, and I heard that it had a lot of. Yeah, I heard it had. I also heard it had a lot of little subliminal messages in it, and it's not what we think. So, but me and my daughter had a long talk about it because we looked at the trailer, and the trailer was done in a crazy way. Because even she was like, I don't know if I want to see that, and but then when she saw, like I said, the reviews, I said I'm gonna go check it out. So I wanted to go see it today, but I just didn't want to leave my mom. My mom was having one of those days, so I came on home. Um, Not really a bad day, but she had a day where she was trying to figure out where everybody was, and she was at home by herself. So we said we were gonna see it another day. We were gonna try to see it tomorrow, but there's an ice storm supposed to come here early in the morning. So, i.e., another reason why my car is getting towed. But we have two other cars here, so I'm gonna use those. But I just don't want to get in the ice storm. Uh, so it'll probably be after. It'll be. Ooh, it's gonna be a rough week. Um, Either probably after the funeral or before. Probably after. Either it'll be one of those days. So we're going, but I'm actually go see it. Um, but y'all keep us lifted. Like I said, this is gonna be a long week. Um, it's gonna be a long weekend. There's no carryover into next week. So, but like I said, y'all keep us lifted. I'll probably be doing something soon, hopefully, if I can get the energy together to talk about the movie, Book of Coherence, and also to talk about what South Africa is doing right now with Israel. So, uh, family, I love y'all so much. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your condolences. And I'll be back. All right, family. Much love. Peace out.